The hacker stereotype. An adolescent trying to crack into systems to learn more about them and for the thrill of breaking in. This image may have been true in the 80s, but today's electronic intruder is hacking for more than thrills. He's out for financial gain, a competitive edge, even political advantage. Some 80s era hackers, now in their 20s and 30s, have learned how to profit from their skills. And they're costing you money by selling calling card numbers, wiretap services, credit information, and other sensitive data in your network, or by disrupting service crucial to your business. Electronic intruders can give their company or country a competitive edge by stealing proprietary information, breaking into networks through the internet, altering sensitive data, or selling it to your competition. Once intruders are on the network, they have the capability to disrupt services crucial to the needs of business, law enforcement, even to national security and emergency preparedness. If your organization uses public networks as a distribution channel or for point-of-sale customers, then you are at risk. Our national interests are at stake. Foreign governments use electronic intrusion for political gain and have persuaded freelance intruders to assist in intelligence gathering. The KGB used the underground computer club Chaos to penetrate sensitive data networks. Electronic intruders are everywhere, just like their targets. The public networks they use are global, allowing attacks to originate and end nearly anywhere in the world. Information they steal, modify, or damage from firms and government groups could be disastrous to both national security and our economic well-being. This threat is here today and real. For every threat, your organization develops and implements a countermeasure. Problem is, intruders learn to get around them almost as soon as they are implemented. Firewalls are erected to filter incoming and outgoing traffic. Some may be configured to allow incoming messages only from trusted sources. Hackers can deceive firewalls by posing as legitimate users from trusted sources. Here's something else to worry about. Industrious hackers write programs that attack your system automatically. These programmed attacks spread quickly, often appearing and being used by other intruders around the world within days or even hours. Hackers use software programs to capture critical information, your login IDs and passwords, for example. Then they use the captured login IDs and passwords to connect to other networks. It gets worse. Once a hacker finds a weak spot in your system, he shares it with fellow intruders. Even first-time hackers can penetrate networks with the skill of an expert within hours of the software release. Suddenly, even a novice intruder is a significant threat. Hackers have become very adept at covering their tracks, and it's even easier to enter and exit a system unnoticed when the administrator isn't watching. Experts believe that 98% of network intrusions go undetected. They slip in, snoop around your network, find data you thought you were keeping to yourself. They take what they need, compromise the rest, slip back out, leave no trace. These thieves are costing you security and profit. Of the 2% of break-ins detected, only 5% get reported to management. Chances are, if your network is being looted right now, you don't know it, and you'll never know. These thieves are clever enough to get around the most sophisticated security systems. We don't need to make it easy for them. But we do make it easy when we look at security as an option instead of building it into the system. Or when we refuse to spend extra dollars for security measures. Ben Franklin would call that penny wise and pound foolish. Today's huge integrated networks with their complex arrays of interconnections are far more difficult to manage than yesterday's systems. System administrators and security personnel often do not have the time and resources needed to effectively manage these large networks. They sometimes lack the expertise to use sound security measures and detect known vulnerabilities in their systems. At times, they've had only limited training and experience in complex new systems. Of the 98% of intrusions which go undetected, A great many can be attributed to system administrators having neither time nor the skills to detect such intrusions. An intruder does not have to be an expert at covering up his tracks if he attempts to get on a network which is not being watched carefully. And what about the users? They're not focused on security, and that's a serious problem. Employees leave passwords on their desks or use easy-to-guess passwords. Users can fall victim to the social engineering ploy. An intruder poses as an employee or a customer to get sensitive information such as login procedures and passwords.
Hi, this is Chris Pettori. I'd like to change my password, please.
What do you want your password to be?
Worse yet, they let unauthorized people into restricted areas. Once he's in your facility, an intruder can circumvent nearly any system security measure. Once they're into a system, they can access user accounts and passwords or create an account for themselves for future use. So what can we do about these risks? Stop outsiders from getting in. Install security features on all system components that can be broken into. The best security features are those engineered into vulnerable network elements. Analyze your system design and how it's used to identify security features you need. Assess how well these features protect your system before you turn it over to the users.
Storage capabilities, the deadline is the end of the month. Security features are the most important thing. We have to implement the security procedure.
A firewall coupled with advanced authentication techniques should stand between the public network and your system. This makes it much more difficult for hackers to penetrate your network. If an audit turns up vulnerabilities in the network elements, patch the holes right away. Then double-check that your patch really worked. In a distressing number of cases, intruders have taken advantage of known but unpatched security holes. Another technique vital to mitigating vulnerabilities is to make full use of all the existing security features. A 1992 survey of network elements from one major manufacturer found that 90 out of 100 switch administrators surveyed did not use the built-in security features such as password aging and default password elimination. Default passwords can be used by anyone. When an intruder gets into your system, the default might allow files to be readable by everyone until the system administrator sets new privileges. Awareness levels must be heightened among both management and employees on security concerns. Management must develop a sound organizational security plan to protect your system and back it up with the resources to get the job done. Policies for designing, deploying, and operating network elements must be detailed early in the planning process. System administrators and security staff must receive training on how to maintain a secure system. And these two key groups must form a strong team with their roles and responsibilities clearly spelled out. If you detect or even suspect an intrusion into your network, you need to report it to the Secret Service or the FBI. If someone has penetrated your network, it's likely they've penetrated other networks. Law enforcement agencies have the resources to track down these intruders. Users must become thoroughly familiar with security features and how to use them. Your job, your fellow employees' jobs, and the future of your company depend on it. Addressing this issue is not only important to you and your job, it's vital to our national interests.
In this high-tech world, we must make sure that we have the high-tech tools to confront the high-tech forces of destruction and evil. So the great security challenge for your future in the 21st century will be to determine how to beat back the dangers while keeping the benefits of this new time.
Knowing the threats and vulnerabilities of the networks is not enough. It is up to you to take action to make your networks more secure and protect your information from intruders.
I can't believe they send me all this stuff.
You have reached a voicemail system. Please enter the 7-digit extension number or your personal ID now.
All this stuff.
Please enter
Stuff.
enter the 7-digit
Stuff.
reached a voice
Stuff. Stuff.
voice
Stuff.
Information. We send and receive it countless times a day. When we talk on the phone, sort our mail, get money from cash machines and access our accounts, sit at our computers, and do our job. It doesn't matter what those jobs are. You can be blue or white collar, skilled or unskilled, an executive at a mahogany desk, or a painter striping the parking lot. Every single day, you send and receive information. Some is visible, some isn't. But it can all be bought and sold, from credit card and bank account numbers, to medical records, to intelligence. The more power the information gives access to, the greater the demand. And what greater power is there than being able to tamper with the systems that affect national security, the economy, or your daily life? Systems that contain information about troop movements, intelligence collection, and consumer services like phones, banks, or air traffic control. As it becomes easier to exchange information, it becomes harder to protect it. A hostile country or terrorist could steal information, tamper with it, or keep us from using it. The results could affect what we see, do, and even think. This is information warfare. An enemy no longer has to use weapons in a physical attack on the U.S. Instead, enemies can disrupt our communications, alter or destroy our databases, or spread misleading propaganda. Information warriors can cut off phone service, steal money, corrupt or delete data, plant viruses, and gain access to sensitive information, all from thousands of miles away. It's a battle that may be going on right now inside computers and phone wires. The action may be happening along the so-called information superhighway, an invisible road that connects computers, phones, and faxes all over the world. At home and work, we seek information, talk with others, and conduct business around the world using this highway and the information systems that give us access to it. You may not have a computer yourself, but if you pick up a phone or have a bank account, you depend on computers. This information highway is both convenient and vulnerable. When people first started using computers, they were self-contained. Then phone links became possible, connecting small, then larger groups together. Today, with the internet, you can connect to almost anyone, anywhere. And so can someone with ulterior motives. Information warfare could begin with the same tactics used by computer hackers or malcontents who want to see how much damage they can do to your agency. But don't fool yourself. Information warfare isn't about hackers or pranksters. It's about hostile powers who want to compromise our nation's information or disrupt our lives for their own purposes. How vulnerable are we in the government? Here's one example. In 1994, the Defense Information Systems Agency tested the security of Department of Defense information systems. It attacked 12,000 systems using common hacker techniques. The results were frightening. DISA penetrated 88% of the systems. What's worse, less than 1% of the attacks were even detected. Surveys in the private sector have reported similar findings. Single computer viruses, such as the Michelangelo virus, have crippled thousands of companies. The opening shot of the next war might be in cyberspace. An attack could be aimed at you or your agency. But information warfare defense is not just a matter for our military. All of us in the intelligence community are on the information front line. Let's look at how we're reacting to this problem. The intelligence community, or IC, is made up of the following organizations: national agencies, the CIA, NSA, NRO, other DoD and military, the DIA, intelligence agencies of all the armed forces, and intelligence arms of the unified and specified commands, and the intelligence arms of civilian agencies, the State Department, Department of Energy, Treasury, DOC, DEA, FBI, and Department of Transportation. The Defense Information Systems Agency is the central manager of the defense information infrastructure, although it's not part of your intelligence community. The defense information infrastructure consists of all the information systems used by DoD. Intelligence communications rely on systems run by DISA. The security of those systems is critical to intelligence community performance. The entire intelligence community is spending a great deal of time and money on analysis of foreign IW efforts, on our information system security, and on training. For instance, the National Security Agency designs products and services for information system security. It also reports on foreign information warfare activity. NSA is also the executive agent for community-wide defensive information warfare training. The CIA is the focal point for national intelligence on information warfare. The FBI is the focal point for counterintelligence on threats to the U.S. information infrastructure. These and many other agencies are in the business of protecting U.S. information and systems. At this point, you might be thinking, okay, that's fine, but what's my part? As we said before, this affects everyone watching this video. Your first job is to be aware of your vulnerability. You're probably already careful about giving personal information over the phone, such as bank account numbers, credit card numbers, names and addresses. And if you have a computer, you already know to protect your password. But you also need to be careful about giving away ordinary facts, such as how your agency's phones and their computers work, their brand names, which companies service them, and who the maintenance people are. This may all be unclassified, but is a goldmine to anyone who wants to disrupt your agency. For the same reason, dispose of computer manuals and output in the burn bag. Verify the identity of those who service or install your equipment. Be suspicious of someone you don't know asking about who runs your office's computer systems, phones, or networks. Report unusual problems or inquiries right away. If you use a computer at home, be aware that anything you send over email can easily be read by others. Here's an example of what can happen if you give passwords out to just anyone who calls.
Hi, this is Ron Johnson from Computer Services. How are you? Good. Is everything up and running down there? Well, we've been having some recurring problems since last night, and I was just wondering if you could help me out. Yeah, if you could log out and log back in again, I can watch it come across the network so I can see where the problem's coming from. What password are you using to get into the server? MILT, that's M-I-L-T? Good. Okay then, well, I'll be going in there to clear out any corrupted files, and I'll be calling you to let you know when it's okay. Right. Thanks.
As you can see, it was easy to get information from an unsuspecting employee. The employee made no attempt to find out who Ron Johnson or Computer Services really were. He just gave out the password. We want to remind you that the intelligence community is on the front line of information warfare, since we are targets. Simple protective measures such as these are a formidable barrier against intruders. A well-informed person is our best defense against information warfare.
This has been an NSA Television Center production.
Four hackers in Hanover, West Germany, remotely enter and steal data from computers operated by the U.S. military, defense contractors, universities, and research organizations. They successfully access 250 systems worldwide, among them more than 90 military sites. The Hanover group sells the information they've retrieved, as well as passwords and access codes, to the KGB. Through trial and error, several hackers discover the local number and access code for the Houston office of the Drug Enforcement Administration's private branch exchange computer, its internal phone system. For 18 months, they place local and long-distance voice and data calls on the DEA's dedicated lines, leaving the government, that is, taxpayers, to pick up a tab of nearly $2 million. In the nation's capital, a man uses his home computer to remotely call an Immigration and Naturalization Service computer to generate fraudulent immigration documents. He and his confederates sell the documents to their illegal alien clientele for $800,000. The perpetrator is in charge of computer security at INS, a fox watching the henhouse. Hackers break into the Los Alamos National Laboratory computer system. Using tools and tips they downloaded from internet sources, the intruders overcome firewall defenses by exploiting a known security loophole in a Unix email program. Once inside, they gain access to several Los Alamos computers with a stolen password. Through the Los Alamos system, the hackers successfully attacked the San Diego Supercomputer Center, destroying email and files. Corporate and government insiders, foreign and domestic business competitors, intelligence agents, a teenage hacker working silently from his bedroom in a Chicago suburb or a basement in Brussels. They travel the information superhighway down the network of private roads provided by a public switch telecommunications system. This is a highway in cyberspace practically anyone can ride, with on-ramps anywhere in the world where there's a telephone. Some of these night riders pass through just to observe the terrain, content with merely invading privacy. Others are malicious, electronically entering banks, business offices, government agencies, and homes along the highway to destroy or steal. Changing road signs to cause confusion, or closing down sections of the highway itself. This is information warfare waged in sneak attacks, and the casualty is a society's infrastructure. The flow of knowledge that assures our credit card or checking account balance is correct, our flight leaves on time, our 911 call goes through, and countless other services we take for granted. Technology has made waging war against the infrastructure easy for intruders. The cost of weaponry is relatively modest. The attack is concealed and launched far from the target, so risk is low. The hacker has a subculture complete with groups or clubs, newsletters, bulletin boards, and conventions where members exchange techniques and information. His first mission is getting through the door. This step depends on stealth and resourcefulness rather than high technology. Shoulder surfing captures passwords by direct observation. a technique available to the insider. Guessing is a more or less methodical approach for finding out what a person would likely use for a password. A hobby, part of a street address, or social security number, maybe the name of a spouse or pet. The intruder may also try well-known default passwords such as systest or sysdiag as another tactic in his strategy of educated guessing. But an outsider's quickest route to a password comes through social engineering.
Hi, this is Ron Johnson from Computer Services. How are you? Good. Is everything up and running down there? Well, we've been having some recurring problems since last night, and I was just wondering if you could help me out. Yeah, if you could log out and log back in again, I can watch it come across the network so I can see where the problem's coming from. What password are you using to get into the server? Milt, that's M-I-L-T? Good. Okay then, well, I'll be going in there to clear out any corrupted files, and I'll be calling you to let you know when it's okay. Right. Thanks.
Hacker jargon for impersonating, conning, fast talk. A technique effective enough to cost U.S. telephone companies $80 million in lost toll call charges in 1994. Password cracking, a good argument for vigilance and routinely changing passwords. Once a system is entered, intruders want to extend control. One giant step to this end lies in intruders installing a backdoor program which gives them a special access to bypass normal logon procedures. With these privileges, they can implant software to change the way the system operates, or more nefariously, inject Trojan horse programs that appear as a game or service. Once used, they release a malicious code that can capture passwords, names of subscribers, and even the content of messages. In 1994, hackers planted a kind of Trojan horse program known as a sniffer on military, commercial, and university computers at key junctions on the internet and MILNET. Sniffers capture the name of the system the user wishes to connect to, names of intermediate routing systems, the user's ID, and the user's password on the system. Such information is commonly transferred to university computer systems where hackers can access it at their leisure, resulting in a potential compromise of tens of thousands of user accounts on a variety of networks connected to the internet. Computer intruders engage in warfare at its most vicious with the planning of malicious codes, logic bombs and time bombs that obliterate files, worms that attach themselves to files, devouring space and weakening a system's ability to perform, viruses that can destroy critical system files on a hard drive, crash CPUs, and lurk in a computer's memory undetected. As dangerous as hacker intruders are in their pursuit of mischief and challenge, their efforts pale in comparison to the resources and technical expertise which can be brought to bear by other entities, such as foreign intelligence services and terrorists, whose interests are grounded in industrial espionage, fraud, or damage to the national infrastructure. The InfoWar is escalating to a more dangerous level as the infrastructure, the beams behind the paint and paneling of civilization, is threatened by an all but invisible army. An army whose nature is changing, whose skills are growing, and who wage war so subtly that it's difficult to appreciate their work. But they're just getting started. Give them a little time. If you have concerns about vulnerabilities in your systems and potential threats to the integrity and confidentiality of your data, contact your Information Systems Security Office. Other resources exist within the federal government that can provide assistance. They include the National Security Agency Information Systems Security Customer Service Center at 1-800-688-6115. The Federal Computer Incident Response Capability, FedCIRC, at 1-800-437-4600. 4385, extension 3359. The Defense Information Systems Agency, DISA, assist, at 1-800-357-4231. Reproduction and further dissemination of this video is authorized to enhance awareness of the growing threat to information systems.
Hello, I'm John Walsh. As someone who's involved in crime solving, I've seen what a dramatic impact computer technology can have on law enforcement. And I'm sure all of you at the Department of Justice realize how much easier computers have made your jobs. But even though we appreciate what computers can do for us, sometimes we take them for granted and don't properly safeguard their information. Sometimes it seems like we look at computers as if they were electronic filing cabinets. In some ways they are, but they're really much, much more. They also help us to communicate with each other, the public, and the world. If we don't keep them secure, their valuable information can easily be lost, stolen, or distorted. At the Department of Justice, employees are responsible for processing a huge amount of sensitive information. All your divisions, from litigation to public support, work with information that needs to be protected. And if it's not protected, even the most seemingly trivial information, like a social security number or an address, can lead to very serious or even tragic consequences. Take, for example, a real case that involved surplus computer equipment sold at a government auction. This equipment had been used in a U.S. Attorney's office. And before it was sold, all of the information was supposed to have been erased. The memories of these computers held sensitive data, including the names of undercover agents, informants, and federally protected witnesses. Unfortunately, after the sale, the government learned that all of the information was not erased. The department may never know if any of this information was compromised. If it was accessed, it would put many people into a life-threatening situation. In order to help each of you avoid situations like this, we'll discuss 3 aspects of computer security. First, we're going to explain what we mean by sensitive information and what kinds of information you need to protect. Second, we'll discuss risk management, which refers to the reason why computer security is important and why all of us need to be part of that effort. And finally, we'll talk about accountability, which explains your responsibilities as a computer user and how all Department of Justice employees can protect themselves and their information. Unless you know what the term sensitive information means, it's difficult to determine whether or not your work is sensitive. Although your data may not be labeled classified, it may still be sensitive and you need to protect it. In technical terms, sensitive information means anything which could adversely affect the national interest, the conduct of federal programs, or would violate the Privacy Act if lost, misused, modified, or if someone gained unauthorized access. Simply put, everything at the Department of Justice is considered to be sensitive information. Information sensitivity can be broken down into 3 categories: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality means that the information in your computer system needs to be protected from unauthorized disclosure. For example, time-sensitive information like pretrial data, procurement information, and information covered by the Privacy Act, like someone's social security number, as we discussed earlier. Integrity means how accurate your data is. Your data will only be accurate if it's well protected. Unauthorized access to your computer could lead to integrity problems. For example, someone could get into your file and change data intentionally or unintentionally. Inadvertent mistakes, which may be as simple as inputting a wrong number or letter into a file, also threaten integrity. Anytime accuracy is critical, integrity is vitally important. Here's one that's easy to remember: availability. Availability involves information that needs to be, well, available at a specific time, even instantaneously, such as payroll information and law enforcement support systems. For instance, the work we do here at America's Most Wanted is a good example of availability. The information we receive from callers needs to be dispatched immediately, and any delay in relaying information to the appropriate law enforcement agencies could mean the difference between a capture or a criminal just slipping out of our reach. Remember, the easiest thing to do is to consider everything you work with to be sensitive information. That way, you'll develop good security habits to help protect the data you're working with every day. As little as 10 years ago, I'd venture to say that most people didn't even know how to log on to a computer. Today, we have 12-year-olds writing sophisticated software programs. As more people get involved with computers, your systems are more vulnerable than ever before. And the fact that most of your computers are linked together makes security more difficult. As a result, anyone on your network can gain access to your work if you don't protect it. What you need to do is reduce the possibility that your computers may be broken into and that this information can be used in the wrong way. Risk management can help you accomplish this. So obviously, risk management is anything you do to minimize risk to your computer systems. In order to practice good risk management skills, you need to determine what risks are out there. Once you or your management team have determined what they are, then it's a simple matter of establishing and following common-sense security procedures. Naturally, you can't expect to eliminate all the risks. After all, if you build a better lock, someone's going to find a better way to pick it. But you can take steps to minimize risk, and that's what computer security at the Department of Justice is all about. Now that we've talked about what sensitive information is and have a good idea why it needs to be protected, I'd now like to talk about what you as individuals, groups, and teams can do to keep computer security at its highest level. At this point, I think it's important for each of you to remember that you are the most important aspect of computer security. If you think that computer security means waiting until someone else in your office takes care of it, you're asking for trouble. That's like leaving your keys in your car with the door open and hoping that the next person who walks by will lock it up for you and return your keys. In other words, you have to assume personal responsibility for protecting your computer system. But you know, computer security is really very simple if you take some basic precautions and develop good security habits. The first thing everyone has to remember is to protect their individual areas. When you're at home, you probably wouldn't be surprised to see the mailman walking up your sidewalk to deliver the mail. But what if he showed up in your living room? The same principle applies at work. Know who should be in your area. If someone doesn't belong, don't be afraid to ask questions. Protect your equipment and data. You wouldn't leave your house unlocked, so lock up valuables at work, such as files, disks, hard copies, and terminals. Your password can give someone else complete access to your files, and no one but you should know it. If you knew a stranger had a copy of your house keys, you'd change your locks immediately. The same should be true for your password. Don't give it to anyone and change it frequently. Be sure to use words that can't be easily associated with you, and make sure no one sees you enter it. One of the most important things is to remember to log off. If you forget, you're putting your files and every other piece of information on that network in jeopardy. Unauthorized software may seem like a great addition to your office, and you may have all the best intentions for using it, but it can turn out to be more trouble than it's worth. Viruses and related threats such as Trojan horses, worms, and time bombs can shut down an entire system. The best way to avoid them is by using only authorized software. There are antivirus programs which help to prevent infection. Your division should have one available. Check to make sure your computer has an antivirus program installed. If not, talk to your supervisor about getting one. And just as an extra precaution, it's always a good idea to back up your files before installing any new software. If you need to purge your memory, you have to be certain that all of the memory is completely erased or destroyed, so it can't be accessed later. There is equipment available to accomplish this, so find out what support is available to you. A degausser is used to clear most magnetic data, but floppy disks need to be shredded or burned. Most software can be overwritten, but must be done properly. Ask for help. Find out the right way to do these procedures, and make sure anything you do is approved in writing. You may not be able to tell if someone or something has tampered with your information, so be alert. Look for unusual activity on your system. Watch your data. Has any been lost? Have there been any unauthorized changes? Is your data wrong? If you see inconsistencies, you may have a security problem, and you should report it immediately. And finally, keep backups of your data and be sure to keep all duplicates in a safe place. I know that as a Department of Justice employee, you're all very, very busy. No one appreciates the importance of your work more than I do. But the safety precautions we've just discussed can easily be learned if you practice good habits. The basic steps you take regarding security are extremely important. The time it takes to prevent security problems is nothing compared to the time you and your colleagues will spend if your information is compromised. And don't forget, time is not the only thing you lose. Think about the human suffering that can be caused if your information gets into the wrong hands. Keep in mind the three things we've discussed. Sensitive information. You now understand that everything you work with is sensitive information. Risk management. Find out what risks are a danger to you and take steps to avoid them. And accountability. Remember, you're responsible for your work and equipment. I've had the privilege to work with a lot of Department of Justice employees, and I know firsthand just how conscientious and serious you are about your work. I hope this video has helped you to understand how serious it is to protect your computer's information. And I know every one of you will want to do your part for all Americans.
The information age. It's fast-paced, productive, a time of vision and progress. Innovations in technology have added value to leading-edge products and helped every federal agency better serve the American public. But despite the overwhelming benefits, these advancements have also created new challenges and threats to our security. In our increasingly interconnected world, every system is vulnerable, and the need to protect information resources has never been more critical.
As chairwoman of the Subcommittee on Technology for the House Science Committee, I've heard firsthand about the threat that exists to sensitive electronic data, and I want you to be more aware of the dangers that are out there. Your agency's computer security policy is too important to be surrendered to chance or to other interested parties. So who is responsible for making your employees aware of the threats and then educating them about how to handle these issues? As a federal executive, you are.
Today, the demand for timely, accurate information in the federal government is growing at an unprecedented rate, and agency missions can only be achieved with the help of computers. All information that is produced, stored, used, and transmitted by federal agencies has value. The level of that value depends on its use. While some of it is classified, the Office of Management and Budget Circular A-130, entitled Management of Federal Information Resources, states that all federal government information is considered sensitive. That means it requires protection because of the risk and magnitude of loss or harm that could result from its inadvertent or deliberate disclosure, alteration, or destruction. At a time when executives are being asked to do more with less, managing these information lifelines is a major protection issue. Traditionally, Americans have relied on the federal government to help establish rules and standards for progress, safety, and fairness. And throughout history, dedicated federal executives have helped make our country an unparalleled success story. But in today's world, if federal employees are not held to the highest standard in order to protect valuable government information, and as a result, sensitive data is lost, altered, or destroyed, our quality of life could be threatened. By passing the Computer Security Act of 1987, Congress recognized the need to keep the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data in federal systems secure. The Act mandated that every federal employee with access to sensitive information receive appropriate computer security and awareness training. Since then, both the number of threats to information systems and the number of employees using computers have increased dramatically. Today, federal workers use everything from network desktops to laptops in order to get their jobs done. But because any computer can be a doorway into every information system you have, the threats are greater than ever.
As a federal executive, your highest level of responsibility is to achieve your agency's mission. The only way to do that is to make protecting your computer information assets a top priority.
It begins by understanding the threats to your system. First, there are environmental threats. These include natural disasters such as floods, earthquakes, tornadoes, or fire. Second, physical breakdowns impact systems, such as failures in electrical power or air conditioning. The most common threat to any system, however, is man-made. These come from both internal and external sources and can be either accidental or intentional. One example is the improper use of a password. Passwords are literally the keys to the store. Just as a store owner would never give up the keys to a client, employees must never share their password with coworkers or contractors. Another man-made threat is from the theft of data, software, or hardware. This happens if employees don't secure their workspace or leave their laptops unattended in public places. Data alteration can occur if a computer virus is contained in information that is downloaded from the internet or brought in on a floppy disk. Over the years, one of the biggest threats in terms of altering data has been the disgruntled employee. But the fastest growing threat to any system today comes from computer hackers, many of whom alter or destroy data. Any one of these threats costs time and money and could result in lost or damaged information, the disclosure of sensitive material to unauthorized persons, modified information that is no longer accurate, or a computer that may no longer be accessed or used.
If the information you are protecting falls into the wrong hands, is distorted or destroyed, you will not only be prevented from accomplishing your mission on time and within budget, you could be held personally accountable. To ensure this does not happen, you must implement risk management. That takes commitment and leadership, but it's the only way to assure the operational continuity, integrity, and confidentiality of your systems.
Begin by reviewing your computer security to ensure that it's up to date and complies with applicable laws and regulations. Next, assign responsibility for data security by delegating authority. Your managers should be able to identify the threats and vulnerabilities to your system and determine alternate processing sources in the event of a system failure. Be prepared to accept risk as part of doing business and allocate the resources to cover your responsibilities as stated in the Act. While there will never be enough money to protect a system from every threat, by knowing which are most likely to impair your mission and then funding necessary countermeasures, risks can be significantly reduced. Computer security is everyone's responsibility, but you must provide the resources to achieve it. This includes implementing an ongoing training program for every employee with access to information resources. Only once your staff is trained can they be held accountable for the security of the information that is entrusted to them. Be diligent in monitoring the effectiveness of these efforts through internal self-assessments and external independent reviews. And finally, analyze the costs associated with effective controls and be prepared to defend your decisions. Risk management should be done in conjunction with other executives and include input from your own staff. Working together, you'll discover effective ways to restore processing capabilities in the event of severe service disruption. Ensure that your system information remains accurate and complete, and protect information from intruders or unauthorized personnel.
We live in the most information-rich nation in the world, And the price for that privilege is significant responsibility. Effective protection of sensitive information requires everyone's cooperation. If we do not accept that challenge, we are adding to the problem. By demonstrating concern for the lack of security awareness within the federal government and then following through with a commitment to all of your computer security responsibilities, you will help set new standards in employee responsibility. More importantly, your leadership will promote the security culture that is needed to protect the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of our government's sensitive data. Thanks for doing your part to ensure a secure future for every American.
Hello, I'm Pat Lattimore, the department's Chief Information Officer and Assistant Secretary for Administration and Management. All of us at the Department of Labor work on computers that are connected to each other. However, all of you may not realize that some of the information on these networks is extremely sensitive. So it's our job, each and every one of us, to ensure that the sensitive data is kept secure. This video will show you how to do that. It covers a few simple steps that you must take in order to ensure the integrity of your workstation. So please watch carefully and follow these guidelines. Thank you.
Attacks on government computers are rising rapidly. Department of Justice. People using internal computer passwords attack DOJ's homepage and post obscenities. Federal Aviation Administration. A hacker breaks into air traffic control system. He lands planes from his living room until arrested. Department of Defense. Hackers break into DoD computers and download lists of user IDs and passwords. They are currently in jail. Okay, so we're not the Pentagon. We're not the CIA. We're just the Department of Labor. We don't have any secrets, right?
One of the most misconceived notion is that the Department of Labor does not house sensitive data. In the department that I actually work in, which is the Unemployment Insurance Service, sensitive data is stored there for economic indicators of unemployment insurance. That information would be able to provide you an advantage in the stock market.
There's unemployment information, there's wage and hour, there's pension fund information on companies and so forth.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics has sensitive data, consumer price index, the unemployment statistics, employment statistics, compensation, working conditions statistics, productivity, occupational safety and health.
DOL has a great deal of medical information.
We have about 1,300 actual physical medical records in our office in a double-locked area. Medical records are extremely confidential and sensitive. You can imagine how you would feel if your personal most important facts were known to the general public, and so we make every commitment to keeping them absolutely confidential.
There's personnel information as well, individual names, social security numbers that need to be secure, that could be open to credit fraud and so forth.
And if that data gets out?
You're setting yourself up to be in big trouble.
And it can also endanger future cooperation in that agencies and activities outside and inside the federal government that are sharing information with the Department of Labor may not be willing in the future to share that data.
Our surveys, we collect the data on a voluntary basis in large part, and companies, if they thought we weren't going to keep their information confidential, they would perhaps stop giving it to us.
Can also subject DOL to possible lawsuits, both civil and criminal.
You can be sued.
If he profits from it, he's committing a criminal act or a fraud.
Which would also probably end up putting you in a place that you wouldn't like to be in if you're caught. Jail.
You'd think that surely all this data is locked in a vault with armed guards, but it's not.
The sensitive data that DOL possesses is on the computers. It can be on file servers, it can be on database servers in secured facilities, but it's also on the user's desktop as well. And it's only as secure as the user that's using it. Security of the data is like, it's the old proverb about the weakest link of the chain. The user in this case is the weakest link in the chain.
End users are critical in a variety of ways. The end user has to think ahead of time before deciding what is confidential and what isn't confidential. In OSHA, in addition to the medical aspects of confidentiality, virtually everything we touch has the potential to be confidential.
But the ultimate responsibility of ensuring that that data is secure is up to the end user.
The end user, that is you. Believe it or not, government computers are constantly under attack. Not necessarily from foreign spies or space aliens, usually from people called hackers. Guys like Brian. As a teenager, Brian used to break into computers for fun. He had a lot of fun, and then he got into a lot of trouble. But now he's paid to do it by a company called Troy Systems, which is hired by the DOL to test how secure their data is. One false move and someone like Brian can roam through DOL's computers in your name. We're going to show you what basic, easy steps you can take to assure that hackers, spies, or criminals don't get access to DOL's sensitive data by way of your computer. So listen up. Remember, it's your responsibility, and we're going to hold you to it.
Password is a code that is given to a user, and based on that code, they gain access to a computer application or system.
It's tempting to be cute with passwords.
We find all kinds of things used as passwords.
They use their spouse's name, their kid's name.
You see the name of the agency used.
Their children's name and their dog name.
You see password used.
Family pet's name.
You see all numbers used, like 1111.
God.
Or all letters used, like AAAA.
Jesus.
You see the term secret used.
Redskins. These types of passwords are very commonly used on computer systems, but not secure at all.
That's the first thing they try if they're trying to break into a system.
Anybody will guess them.
This isn't fun and games. The security of your government's data is at stake. So stay away from the cute stuff and give your computer a real password. And remember, even a not-so-simple password that is all letters or all numbers is vulnerable to software that automatically tries every word in the dictionary.
A dictionary attack runs a guess against a password of every word in the English language to see if it's a combination or of that, and it uses it to break the password.
Hackers love chump passwords. It saves them so much trouble.
Dictionary attacks are usually less successful on systems that are routinely checked for common passwords and systems that have policies in place where passwords need to be at least 7 or 8 characters and contain characters other than letters and numbers. The best possible type of password to select would be one that contained uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, symbols such as minus and asterisk, things like that.
Okay, let's say you've thought up the best password in the world. You're still not in the clear yet.
Even if you have a very clever password that's encrypted, that it's not going to be easily guessed by anyone, if you pass it out, it's useless.
Well, unfortunately, if you give it to your neighbor, that password is no longer secure. You just created a security hole in the system.
And the other thing about sharing passwords is that if that password's issued to you and somebody else uses that password to do something, you can be held accountable for all actions that are tied to that password.
Sometimes hackers don't need high tech to get into an end user's computer. Sometimes they just ask or snoop around a little.
If I was working in the Department of Labor with someone else, and I wanted to get access to their resources, or I wanted to pretend to be them, and I had no technical expertise, I would probably either ask them for their password, tell them that I needed it for something and that I hadn't been granted access because the machinery was moving too slowly and, you know, the red tape and all that. Or I would, if that didn't work, or I didn't want to draw that much attention, I would just walk around their desk and look for things.
Some of the places where folks tend to write down passwords in order to remember them later on would be on little sticky pads, Post-its placed on the keyboard or next to the monitor.
We found passwords in every place, from underneath telephones, underneath keyboards,
inside a drawer,
in the desktop calendar pads, taped underneath the cubicle,
on the back of monitors,
in the Rolodex under P,
under keyboards, under desks.
Pictures of their children, which may have their names of the children.
You name it, we probably found it there at some time.
You should memorize that password. If it takes you 50 times to do it 50 times.
If you forget, then have the system administrator reissue a password for you.
Sooner or later, even good passwords go bad, just by getting old.
Passwords need to be changed on a regular basis.
Changing the password frequently is important because chances are people are going to stumble across your password at some point.
On an average, you should think about changing your password every couple of months.
The longer a password is not changed, the less secure your system is, the more vulnerable you are. Logging off is very important. If you step away from your computer to go to the bathroom or go on a break or go to lunch, anybody can come in and have the same privileges and access you just left.
If you leave your system logged on, somebody can come in behind you, sit down, send a negative email to your boss in your name.
Remember, when you leave that system on, that user becomes you.
It provides a point of entry into the network for programs that are typically called sniffer programs, and get passwords of other users or passwords to sensitive computers, things of that nature.
They're not going to find that guy. It's going to find your ID attached to that system.
It's very important to log off in the evening as well when you go home. When you log off and you're out of the system, your files are saved and locked, and so the backup system can take them and put them on tape and so forth and have those available in case there's a problem with your files.
The best way to provide security when you leave your computer and you don't want to log out because you're going to return fairly quickly is to set a screensaver program active with password protection on the screensaver. And it's very important that that password that you set adhere to all the rules for sound passwords that apply for when you're fully logging in.
By the way, leaving a document sitting in a shared printer for a while is no different than leaving a document on your screen. It's right there for all the world to see.
If you are printing something, you need to be responsible for going to pick up your documents. That could be sensitive information that's just sitting on the printer, and anyone can walk by and pick it up and take off with it.
They're doing evaluations on people. They're doing personnel actions. They've got sensitive budget and programming actions going on.
Once those types of documents are sent to the printer, a user should go directly to the printer and wait for the print job to complete.
The internet. It's cool, it's handy, it's fun. Sometimes real fun. It can be a good research tool for your work, but even job-related internet work can be dangerous because of computer viruses.
Viruses are created to destroy data on the network, on the server, on the person's workstation, and they could bring down the whole system. They could crash the hard drive.
Downloading or receiving files over the internet now is very dangerous.
If you need to download something off the internet at work, to download onto a floppy disk and then scan the disk for viruses and other malicious programs before you actually do anything with what you've downloaded.
Some viruses are unintentional bugs in computer files. Others are created on purpose by vandals whose idea of fun is destroying your data.
A computer virus is usually a program that is attached to another program. Sometimes they split themselves up so that they can't be detected by other software.
Another way that viruses are spread are through floppies. If floppies are passed along in the office from one desk to the other, whether it's work-related or not, you need to be aware that that floppy that you're bringing in from another office or from home could contain a virus.
The bottom line, be very careful before you put any floppy disk into your computer. Most viruses are new, which means if your antivirus software is old, it is probably useless. So check with your help desk for your agency's virus protection procedures.
There are malicious folks out there, and every day there is somebody that is creating a virus that will not be detected by the latest version of an antivirus software.
One of the most important things users can do in the security arena is if they find a security threat or receive a virus or anything of that nature, is to immediately report it to the help desk or the security team.
Also, you should make sure that as you work, you back up your work in progress frequently. But if you back up the floppies, be careful.
Some folks, to ensure that their work is saved properly, will back up or save a copy onto a floppy, but they tend to leave the floppy on the desk or somewhere in a drawer. That floppy really needs to be moved away from that area, locked down by key. If it's your backup, you want to make sure that it is secure.
It's easy. It's handy. Have to work on a project at home? Working at a remote site for a while? Stuck in an airport? Laptops are popular because they're handy. They're dangerous to data security for the same reason.
Laptops today, particularly for people who travel via air, have become a prime target to be ripped off. For two reasons. One, because of the physical value of the hardware of the laptop itself, and another reason is for the data that's on the laptop.
They should actually treat a laptop like they would their desktop computer at work. They should never leave laptops laying around.
Use encryption if he has it available. Use password protection to protect his files.
They should never install software on a laptop that has not been approved by management.
Use anti-theft cables. Don't leave the laptop anywhere. Keep it with them. The individual user who signs a laptop out from DOL is responsible both for the physical protection of the laptop and for the data that's on that laptop.
FlexiPlace provides some sort of unique challenges in the security arena. The potential for viruses and other malicious programs in a home computer is usually greater than it is in an office computer. There may be more comings and goings of people at home than there are in a secure office building. It's particularly important to have a virus detection program resident and running in the computer at all times. Another aspect of security that people sometimes don't think of is the physical protection of the computer itself, from spilling of food and drink on it or from things falling over on it. Data can get destroyed by physical problems.
By now, you've probably figured out that it's your job to keep your computer and the data on it safe from prying eyes. You've probably also figured out that you can get into a lot of trouble if you break the rules about computer security. But don't get the idea we're asking a whole lot of you. All we're asking is that you pick a complex password and then memorize it, that you change it every couple of months, that you log off whenever you're away from your desk, that you fetch documents from the printer quickly, that you be careful of the internet and floppy disks, and that you treat your laptop or FlexiPlace computer the same or better as your office computer. This won't slow you down. This won't impede your work. Know what will? Letting vital data out because of carelessness. Nothing slows down your work like getting in trouble. So just use your head and keep your data safe. Remember, it's your job.
Thank you for watching this important program. Our system administrators, managers, and technicians are doing excellent work to ensure the security of our data at the system level. But their work is futile if computer security is compromised by you, the end user. That's why each time a DOL employee follows these guidelines, our department's sensitive data will be safer. Thank you very much.
Hi, sir. I'd like to get your message. What's your interest in engineering and physics?
Think before you respond. Who else is going to read your message? Perhaps the whole world.
Optical computation is personal interest of mine. And what designate letter O in your name?
Think. Who are you really talking to?
I'm researcher and teacher in mechanical engineering department.
Think. Could this be a foreign contact?
Our
research into logic gates progresses rapidly. Solutions to wiring gates is goal within grasp. Can we meet in chat room?
Think. Is this a safe topic? Beware of live chat.
We should like to give any information and help for you. Waiting for answer. Nice to talk with you.
Natalie. I work at the Los Alamos National Laboratory and also do research on optical computers. We too have made some significant breakthroughs in logic gate construction, but I can't discuss too much of what I do in this area because it's all classified. However, I would be curious to know of your progress in solving error correction. By the way, the O in my middle name stands for Orville. Seth.
Think before you respond. Once you've sent a message, you can't take it back.
Yes, Lonnie.
Who was the new team member at the meeting this morning? The one who wanted a copy of our new secure telecommunications program?
I think it was Mary Smith.
Thanks.
I don't know anyone named Lonnie. I'm sure I wasn't in a meeting with her this morning. Hello, Sally. This is Mary Smith. I want to report a security incident. I just got an email about a highly confidential telecommunications project. I don't think I was supposed to see this. Can you come over and take a look?
Good morning, Al.
Good morning.
So, how's the database coming? Are the queries going to be ready for the demo tomorrow? Director's coming, and we need to be sure there are no showstoppers.
Don't worry, Peg. It's almost done.
Oh, great.
I just tweaked a few of the scripts to fix report formats. I just have to enter today's data to update the database and then print the final report.
Oh, great. You know, I really want to thank you for your hard work, Al. If it weren't for you, there wouldn't be any way we would have completed this project on time, especially with all the conversion problems. They really underestimated the amount of data that had to be translated.
No problem, Peg. Just be sure to mention that at the demo tomorrow.
Right. I'll see you.
Come on, you stupid box, don't do this to me. Fixed disk controller error. I better call for help. Hello? This is Al in room 2L17. My computer's down. Yeah, I got a fixed disk controller error, and it just beeps at me anytime I press a key. No, tomorrow is too late. I really need someone today if it's at all possible. Great. I'll be waiting. Oh, I'm lucky there was a repairman in the building. I hope he gets here soon.
Al, the repair person's here to fix your PC.
Great. I really need to get this system back. I have a demo tomorrow, and I'm really pressed for time.
Well, let's take a look at your system. They told me you have a fixed disk controller error.
Yep, and it just keeps beeping at me whenever you press any key.
Marcy, can I see you for a minute? I need your input on the weekly report.
Excuse me, I'll be right back.
I'm going to have to run a few diagnostics on your system.
Don't worry. Everything will be okay. It's probably not that bad. Maybe just a loose connection.
Your hard drive is bad. I can't read anything from it. Did your system crash or something?
No. Come to think of it, the painters were in here last night. I wonder if something happened then.
I have another hard drive in my case. You want me to replace yours? It's completely dead.
Are you sure? My database and the only backup are on that drive.
Sorry. The read heads really scratched the disk. It's useless now. I can replace your 300 meg disk with this one that's 500 meg. I can be done in 15 minutes, and you can be up and running by the end of the day.
Sure, go ahead. What am I going to do now?
Do you have any backups on diskette?
I'm doomed.
I've replaced the hard disk. All you have to do now is reinstall the software.
Sorry to be gone so long. Oh, looks like I'm just in time. Was she able to fix your machine?
Yeah, she fixed it, but I lost all my data. Would you mind escorting her out?
Sorry about your data. Look on the bright side. At least you have a bigger disk now.
Thanks. Peg, this is Al. That's worse than that. I lost everything. Yes, Peg.
Hello, Papa Bear. I've got something hot. This one is going to cost you, but your contacts will be very pleased. Well, how'd you like to have the database for the Muskrat project? Yeah, it was a breeze. I walked out with a crashed hard drive that even had the backup on it. Between the two, I've managed to salvage about 65%. Okay, we'll keep it short. Where do you want to meet to discuss your purchase? Okay, see you later.
Lucy, how's it going? Oh, I'm really swamped today, Ethel. I'm working on a report that's due at 4, and I've got a 3 o'clock meeting with our director in a few minutes. Oh, I'll never get this chart in by 4, and I'm almost late for my 3 o'clock.
Well, is there anything I can do to help?
Could you put this chart in the report for me?
Sure, Lucy, no problem.
Thanks. Why don't you sit here? Be sure you log off when you're done. I'll be back in about an hour.
There. I'll print Lucy's chart and I'll be done. The chart's not here yet. Gee, this is Ricky's budget, and he's been on vacation all week. Pretty interesting. Lucy did Fred's performance appraisal. I guess she forgot she printed it before she left.
Hi, Ethel. Is my document printed?
Not yet, Fred. I'm waiting for a chart. You know how long graphics take. Oh, here it comes now. Oh, boy, this looks terrible. The toner's low.
Oh, no problem, Ethel. Here's a new cartridge. We can change the toner and reprint. There. That was pretty easy. I'll just reprint my document. See you later.
See ya. And thanks. I'll just make copies of the budget and Fred's performance appraisal so I can look at them later. I'll put the budget back and I'll take the performance appraisal to Lucy's office. The chart looks good. Lucy will be pleased. Lucy won't be back for a while. I wonder what she has on the system. Let's open File Manager and look at the server. Here's the performance appraisal stuff. This should make for interesting reading. Oh, I can't believe I found this stuff. I'll just copy this folder to the disk and log out.
This chart looks great.
I see you found the chart. I hope it does the job for you.
Thanks for your help, Ethel. It looks like I'll be able to make that 4 o'clock deadline after all.
Good luck at the meeting. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks again, Ethel. What would I do without you?
Ralph here. Oh, hi, Alice. I know. I promise I will be home for dinner. I'm just getting my stuff together. And I'm shutting down my PC. I'm leaving soon. Okay, I love you too. Bye. I have got to make it home in time for dinner tonight. If I miss Alice's tuna fish and potato chip surprise, it will be Ralphie to the moon. All right, I'll take this classified report home so I'll have it finished up for the director tomorrow. Okay, do I have everything I need? Let's see, the notes, the disc. I'm out of here. Okay, I'll move the report from the disk to the server. Let's see, File Manager. And access the A drive. Copy that to the Z drive. Okay. Select Print from the menu. Print it. Oh, I better make sure the printer's turned on. Okay, fix a couple of typos, run the speller, and print again. I'm the gremlin of your system. Catch me if you can before I eat all of your files? What is this? Oh, I hope those guys from down the hall haven't brought in another virus. I better call Ed. Ed, I think I've got a gremlin virus on my PC. No, I don't know how it got there. You're probably those guys from down the hall again. Listen, I need to get my system back so I can print a report for the director. Get over here and see what you can do. Stupid machine. Why today? Why this morning? Oh, there's that gremlin thing again. To the moon, gremlin, to the moon.
Okay, Ralph, let's take a look at your system.
Ed, what took you so long? The system seems fine, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this message appears. I'm the gremlin of your system. Catch me if you can before I eat all your files.
I've cleaned up viruses before. I can handle this one. I'll have your system up and running again before you know it.
Thanks.
Boy, Ralph, this thing is pretty slick. Well, you're lucky it hasn't eaten your files yet. Do you know much about viruses? There are all kinds. Some viruses are in systems for years and no one knows they exist. Or viruses like this one can eat files, destroy disks, or destroy devices. Or some are copied to a floppy's boot sector and triggered when you boot the system with the disk and the floppy disk drive. Viruses are really tricky and pretty nasty. This one could have been a lot worse. I think it's a variation of one of those rigatoni signatures. They're pretty malicious. I wonder if they have the auditing program on so they can track where this thing came from.
I don't know, but they should hold someone accountable for these interruptions. This is the 4th virus we've had in 6 weeks. People should follow the procedures. What good are procedures if they're not enforced?
Well, Ralph, I think I've got it all. Let me reboot your system and see what happens.
Did anyone else get that gremlin message?
I'm really getting tired of these viruses on our server.
Well, Ralph, old buddy, looks like your system's clean again.
Thanks, Ed. I'll talk to you later. Ralph here. Hi, Alice. What's wrong? I know. Catch me if you can before I eat your files. You think you got it from Trixie's disk with the new meatloaf recipes? Just turn the whole system off. I'll talk to you about it tonight. I'll get Ed to come over and fix it. Bye. Oh, I can't believe I infected the whole system.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi.
Looks like you're pretty busy.
Yeah, I've got a 2 o'clock meeting with one of our uncleared contractors who's doing an unclassified task for us. Could you copy a file to a floppy for me to give him?
Sure, boss.
Thanks, Elaine. Copy the monkey file onto a factory fresh diskette. Now be sure to use a secure copy utility and label the disk with the file name and this unclassified label.
No problem, Jerry. I'll have it done in a jiffy.
Great, thank you.
Factory fresh disk. What am I supposed to do? Get it at the factory before it spoils? Secure copy utility. He's always using that computer jargon. I know how to copy files to a diskette. I know I have a disk around here somewhere. Aha, here's one. I wonder if this is factory fresh. It doesn't have a label. I better check it. Double-click on File Manager. Click A drive to see what's on the disk. Whoops, look at all those files. Some of them are secret. I'd better delete them. Select all the files, pull down the File menu, select Delete, click Yes to All. There, that gets rid of all the files. Now to copy that file, click on the Q drive icon, double-click on the monkey folder, drag the monkey file to the A drive icon. Okay, let's look at A to be sure the file's there. Click on the A drive icon. There it is. Way to go, Elaine. Now, where did I put those labels? Jerry, here's the monkey file you asked for on a clean diskette. I labeled it too.
Thanks, Elaine. Now, you made sure it's unclassified.
Yes, I made sure there was nothing on the disk before I copied the file, and I looked at the file after the copy. Everything's okay.
Great. Thank you.
Jerry, George is here for your 2 o'clock meeting.
Oh, 1 second, please.
Hi, Jerry.
Hi, good to see you again.
Hey, your directions were great.
Good, I'm glad you didn't have any problems. Now, I've got a copy of the task statement for you and the monkey file on this diskette. Now, I'd like the task completed by the 28th. Any problem with that?
Oh, this looks okay. We shouldn't have any problems. I can prepare a task briefing for my group this afternoon and brief them on the requirements first thing in the morning.
Great. Then I guess we're all set then. I'll see you out.
All right. Boy, I can't believe what's on this diskette Jerry gave me. I don't usually mess up like this. Not only is the monkey file bad, but this disk has secret data on it. I better call security and see what I should do. Hi, I'm George up on the 5th floor, and I think I have a problem. I just loaded a disk I got from my client, and I couldn't read the file, so I used the Norton utilities to look at the disk, and I discovered the disk is full of data that appears to be classified. Well, I see the word secret in some headers and on some documents. I'm not cleared, and I have the disk, which is labeled unclassified, loaded on an unclassified PC on our network. What should I do?
Hey there, Sammy. Norm brought in donuts. Let's check it out.
Sure, Carla. We'll be back in about an hour, Diane. Got a meeting with Norm.
Okay, Sam. See you later.
Foot shoe? I can't believe he has to write this down. Let's see. His user ID would be Samuel M. Password is foot shoe. I don't believe he can't remember that. I wonder what this is. BB book? Baseball hero. 3 strikes. The 3-2 pitch. Sam saves the game. I can't believe Sam wrote these. I'll have to come back to this stuff later. What's in this 900 file? Wow, these are all 900 numbers. There must be 20 of them listed here. Sports in seconds, know the future today. What's your sign?
I sure wish they'd give me a password that's easier to remember. That's funny. Why did Sam already logged on? Guess we're having system problems again. I'll just have to write these ideas from my book down and work on them later. I'll probably have the system fixed by then.
While I was on TDY, my office was relocated. Of course, I cleaned out the desk in my new office before I unpacked my things. In the farthest recesses of the upper drawer, I made a shocking discovery. I found this piece of paper.
I don't believe it. This looks like a user ID and password.
It's so hard to get back to work first day after vacation. What is the name of that file I was working on? There it is, report.doc. Wait, this isn't what I wrote. Did someone change it? Let me check the summary information and go to statistics for the file. Hey, this says this file was changed last Wednesday. I was on vacation last Wednesday. Miles, I think someone might have gotten my password. One of my files was changed while I was on vacation.
Hey, Jane, am I glad I caught you. I need the latest psychological profile for my meeting this afternoon.
Oh, Rosita, I have the flu. I'm going home. Can't it wait?
Oh, no, come on, Jane. My meeting is in an hour, and I need to review the psychological profile first. Just tell me where it is. I'll get it myself.
No, I don't have a printed copy, and it's not in the shared drive. Look, I'll get it for you later.
Get real, Jane. I need the document now. You can always change your password later. Just tell me what it is now.
Okay. You know my user ID. My password is Super Braid.
What?
Super Braid.
Oh, my. Meg.
What?
Would you look at this?
This is Sam's personnel evaluation. Oh, Juan, we shouldn't be looking at this. I wonder who printed this out.
I don't know. There's no banner page.
Banner page? An evaluation like this should be preceded by trumpets.
Sharon here. Hi, Sue.
Uh-oh.
No problem. I'm glad I could help. Oh, you need more stuff? Well, some of that's classified, and only a few of us have access to it.
That's right. You and me. And
Well, you have access to it, too? Since when? Oh, I see. So that's why you're calling me. I'll take care of it right away. Bye, Sue.
Is Sue really authorized access there?
Well, she says she now has access and a need to know for the information. I guess Sue's word is good enough for me.
Yeah. Well, remember, I believed it when she told me that you had stopped drinking coffee.
Are you finished with that analysis of political parties in Transylvania? Isn't it due today?
No, I have no time for work today. I'm busy surfing the system. I found an item on my favorite subject.
Blood again.
Blood drive. Blood donor. My favorite. Blood bank.
I need the division budget files, so I have to get into the division subdirectory and look around. Stupid machine shows the directory is empty. Now I know there's got to be hundreds of files in there.
Where are they?
Hi, Roberto.
Oh, hello, Meg. What's up?
Well, see, I was searching through the shared drive to see if there was anything new, and I came across your personnel evaluation rebuttal. You didn't actually mean to put it on the shared drive now, did you? Okay, here. I wrote down the file name for you.
Man, I can't believe I saved that into the wrong drive. I'm dead. First, I can't find the files I wanted, and now this.
Hi, Roberto. How's the new job going?
I'm doing just great. And Meg, by the way, I was talking to Bill the other day, and he mentioned something about other people being able to read my email and files. Is that true?
What other people?
Well, you know, like investigators, people like that.
Are you expecting to be investigated for something, Roberto? And would that be a problem for you?
No, just thought that our email and files were private.
Hey, lunchtime, Mike.
Ricki, help.
Lotus Notes again? I mean, what would you do if I weren't here? I hope you don't think I'm gonna wait while you answer all of this mail. I mean, we're never gonna get to lunch.
Now, I won't do that, but I've got some problems. I drafted a memo this morning in Lotus Notes. Somehow I deleted it, and now I need it back.
Well, call your land team and see if they can help.
Here's my next problem, Ricki. I want to send a sensitive piece of mail to Paul Smith, but there might be other people on the system with the same name. What do I do? How do I make sure it gets to the right Paul Smith?
I think that one of these function keys helps, but I can't remember which one. Also, you could call his office and get his middle initial. That would help.
Ah.
Hi, Ed. You forgot the combination. Okay, I'll send it in Lotus Notes again. Okay, Ed, one last time. We have subject, combination, 12, 24, 53, send and encrypt. I wonder if he'll ever remember that combination.
Betty, I am getting so many calls in my outside line that I can't get anything done. I need a secretary.
Gee, Meg, don't we all? Why don't you get an answering machine? I just got one at home. I hear you calling model 2001 does just about everything. Room monitoring, remote answering, and even caller ID. And it's only $39.95.
No, wait a minute, you two. You better check with InfoSec.
Oh, please.
Oh, Jane. Why would security care about the type of answering machine we use?
Well, I read something about that somewhere.
So, you heard from any interesting people in our Porn or Us chat room lately?
Oh, you mean other than Hal?
Yeah, I mean other than Hal. You know, somebody interesting, like somebody from the government.
Oh, as a matter of fact, there are a few government employees who are regulars. They're a wild and crazy group. Their chat room dialogue would make the front page of any scandal rag.
You know, if it's that good, Hal could use it in his weekly distribution.
Who's on the distribution list?
Everybody.
No, run! That's the wrong door! Oh, shoot. Sharon here. Hi. Yeah, well, you know that's my area of expertise. When is the paper due?
Sharon, get over here. I'm winning the game.
Oh, no, that's Ralph. He's playing one of the new games he got off the internet. We found lots of great stuff there. Would you like to know where we found the best games? Yeah, we both have accounts.
Look out for the dog.
Oh, that's a great idea. Give me your internet address. All right. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, it's all unclassified anyway, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Ralph.
What? What do you want?
Get off the computer. I need to copy some files and send them to a friend at DIA.
Excuse me, but don't you have to do something special in order to send files to another agency?
No, they're unclassified and it's another agency. No problem.
Ah! Look out for the dog.
Oh, look out for the cat.
Oh!
Oh, you're dead.
Come on, Corky, get a move on. I'm starved. Let's go to dinner.
I'm not finished unpacking yet.
Hey, I bet you got a lot of classified stuff on those diskettes.
No way. There was nothing on those diskettes until I copied some unclassified files on them. Don't be such a worrywart.
Well, when we go to dinner, don't you have to handcuff that laptop to your wrist or something?
No. I deleted all classified files from the laptop's hard drive before I left the office.
Aren't you ready yet? Come on, I'm out of here. Meet me at the restaurant.
Can I help you?
June Tag Man, I have some diskettes here that I thought were empty, but someone told me that they have residue on them from documents stored there in the past. They said I should see the June Tag Man. Do you have anything that'll clean the residue off my diskettes?
This security utility should do the trick. Let's have those. We'll put them right here. Use some of the security utility. And your diskettes will soon be residue free.
This is going to take forever.
What are you doing?
Oh, the supply room is out of disks, so I'm reusing old ones. But there's old files all over them. Using File Manager takes forever.
What about residual data?
No. They don't have any residential data on them, Sharon. They're business files.
I can't believe you put everything in this burn bag. Some of this is probably reusable. Let's see. Reusable? Not reusable. Reusable. Not reusable. Not reusable. Ow!
What'd you do with my stuff?
Well, you didn't prepare the magnetic media properly, you didn't sanitize anything, and you put it in the wrong burn bag. Don't worry, I took care of it for you.
I'm from Virus Busters. How can I help?
I don't need help. I need a miracle.
I was using this diskette to update software on 97 workstations. One of the workstations must have had a virus that infected the diskette.
Why do you say that?
Because most of the workstations won't even boot up now. I must have spread the virus after the diskette became infected.
A frightening prospect indeed. You didn't follow proper procedures to protect the diskette. I hear they're hiring at HHS.
Health and Human Services?
Harry's Hamburger Shop.
Thanks for stopping by. I remember you helped us out last week when the green slime virus spread all over our office from Lotus Notes. I want to be sure I access Lotus Notes attachments in the safest manner possible.
Well, now, no method is foolproof, but there is one procedure that will reduce the risk of spreading a virus through Lotus Notes. Here, let me show you.
Thanks. I don't understand how this happened. I know I did everything right, but somehow my files got infected again with that blasted green slime virus.
I thought doctors were supposed to cure viruses, not spread them. Are you sure you virus scanned all of your files?
Yes, I'm sure. I have some very important files. In fact, they're so important, I password protected them.
What in the world is this? Oh, come on. Hey, what is this? Come on, this is unbelievable. Ah, stop it. Stop it. Ah. Who you gonna call? Virus busters? Yeah. We'll nuke them out of here.
What's the problem?
No, all my data's messed up.
Hold it. Don't pull that trigger.
Okay.
All right. Ooh, this is nice. How about them bulls, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have a Twinkie.
Thank you. Good. Whoa.
What?
Wow.
What?
I've never seen a virus like this before. Where'd it come from?
I don't know.
You weren't doing anything spooky with the computer this morning, were you?
No, man. I was just uploading a file from the ESPN webpage on the internet. Look, you gotta fix my computer. I gotta send that file over to my buddy Norm right away.
Okay. Let's get started. Where do you store your data?
Oh, I'll show you. Here, careful. It's got a real sensitive trigger. I store some of it here, and here, and the rest is sorted in here.
Whoa!
Oh, great. Found the labels.
Hey, you ready for lunch?
Yep.
Oh, this office is a mess. Well, now look, you have all these electrical appliances right next to the secure phone. Juan, you know better than that. And look, you have a fan on top of your classified PC, which is right next to your unclassified laptop.
But I need all this stuff. This is my sanctuary, my home away from home. You don't expect me to throw all of it away, do you?
No, but I suggest you check the regulations and put everything in its proper place.
So much for sanctuary. There it is. Oh.
Drac, I need to copy some files from internet and store them on the classified LAN. Do you know how to do that?
Knowing how to do that is easy. Any vampire can do that. Following the rules for doing it now That's an entirely different can of spiders. Do you know the procedures for isolating classified and unclassified PCs?
No, Drac. That's what I depend on you for.
An unclassified PC and a classified PC is like a vampire and a wooden stake. They can coexist. But you must keep the stake far away from the vampire's heart. And for this to work, there have to be rules.
Good morning, Sally.
Good morning, ladies.
Jane, do you have the presentation ready for our briefing today?
Oh, it's on my screen, and I'm going to print it right now.
Thanks, Sally. Sure. Jane, should Sally really be in here while we're doing classified work on our PCs?
Oh.
You remember that general I dated last summer? Well, he said it was really important to protect information on computer screens, and he ought to know.
Yeah, but the cleaning crew have badges. What's the problem?
This is the first time I've been in here. What's the computer you're working on?
It's the Naval 2000. It's built by Orange out of Florida.
What's wrong with it?
It's probably the power supply. Not getting enough juice.
Oh, I see.
I'm going to give it some real power.
Gosh, I wouldn't know where to start on one of these things. I can't even set the time on my VCR.
Well, that should take care of it.
Wow. Thank you.
Hey, you having land problems?
I hope not. I'll lose everything I've done in the budget report.
No, you won't. Your autosave feature's on, isn't it?
You're right. All I need to do is open the application.
Hey, wait a minute. How'd this get in here? I thought I threw that in the garbage.
You just can't throw this out. It's a writable CD. See, it's silver.
No. The green ones are writable. The silver ones, they're like music CDs. You can take them in and out of the building. When you want to get rid of them, you just throw them in the garbage.
Hey, Roberto. What are you doing?
Hi, Rosita. I'm just trashing this old software to make room for the new video library.
Wow. Some of these packages, they were never even opened.
Yeah, check this one out. It's still shrink wrapped, but it's been on the shelf for years and it's out of date, so adios.
What a waste. Hi, Roberto. You want to go to lunch?
Yeah, sure. Just give me 1 minute to wrap this up.
Hey, where'd you get all the cool software? I thought we didn't have money to buy any more stuff this year.
Well, I fixed that. My buddy can get me any software I need for free.
Really?
Check this out. Take whatever you need. I can replace it, just like that.
Look at all these multimedia packages. This is great.
As a matter of fact, let me give you his number. Tell him Roberto sent you.
Juan, check out this software I just loaded on my PC. Nick bought it for Dale, and Dale made me a copy. It lists every restaurant in town, including the menus and their prices. I'm gonna make a copy for Ralph and Sharon.
Oh, hold on there, queen of cuisine. Now, remember what happened to Steve last week when he loaded that non-standard software package?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Juan.
Hey.
I found a copy of this database software in the trash, and I thought you could use it at home.
Oh, gosh, I don't know about this.
Hey, I found it in the trash. If you need the upgrade, the LAN team has it.
Why would the LAN team give it to me?
Well, you tell them that you need it on the office laptop, and then you copy it to some diskettes, and you take it home.
Well, hold on a minute. Let's check the regs to see if this is okay.
Oh, Juan, lighten up. It's not like we're trying to breach national security. We're just trying to have some fun. You know, it's a quality of life issue.
Daddy, I'm so stressed out. I have 2 tests on Wednesday and an English paper due Friday. I just don't know how I'm gonna get it done. There's one thing the world's greatest dad can do for me.
I'm afraid to ask. What?
Daddy, it's no big deal. I just wondered if I could borrow that laptop that you brought from work. I just know that if I had a word processor, I could finish my English paper on time. What do you say, Daddy?
All right, come on. You sure this is the room where they're staying?
Yes, you see, Corky's name is on this piece of luggage. Look, this stupid fool left a computer in her room.
Oh, great. All right. Oh, this is fantastic. She didn't erase the temp files from the hard drive. There might be some classified information. Wouldn't be surprised to find some interesting residual data as well. Here, it'll only take a few moments to copy their entire hard drive onto our laptop. She'll never even know what happened.
Drac, I'm about ready to leave on my trip. Can I borrow your Byte Master laptop to record my notes?
Seems like centuries since we last used it. Will your Byte notes be classified? I wonder if it'll have the right encryption software on the hard drive. Otherwise, the classified bytes data might be compromised.
Drac, I depend on you so. I forgot you authored Tales from Encryption.
Hey.
Hey, man, when you leave for TDY?
Soon. Oh, better start getting ready.
Got everything you need for this trip?
Let's see now. My briefcase, my duffel bag, my plane tickets,
Up and away.
my shade, and my diskettes.
You ready?
Oh no, my diskettes. I forgot to get approval.
Hey, you know what you got to do.
Good morning. This is Graham Falconbridge. Welcome to InfoSec Today. The topic of our program is the destruction of magnetic media. Our guest, Dr. D. Stroy, is a world-renowned InfoSec expert who has spent a lifetime researching methods of destruction. He has gathered unique, creative and sometimes dangerous methods of disk destruction. During our program, we will show some of the daffy methods of destruction Dr. Destroy has discovered. At the end of the episode, Dr. Destroy will demonstrate secure disk destruction. And now, we join Dr. Destroy on a local golf course as he demonstrates the first of his fun, but definitely not approved, methods of disk destruction.
Be sure to get good height and bend those knees. You have to push really hard to drive your shoes into the diskettes. The sledgehammer method. First, I remove the metal parts. I remove the diskettes out of jacket. I remove the media. I start my sander, and I move it slowly over the surface of the magnetic media. I flip the disc and repeat the process on the other side. First, I drive a nail into the diskette. I repeat the process as many times as necessary. I put the diskette into the blender, close the top, and hit frappe. Diskette frappe. I will once again remove the media from its protective jacket. Then I will insert the media into the shredder. Let me show you the results. I will insert the diskette into the toaster and turn it up high. Nice and crispy. I will torch the diskette like this. Be careful not to get the secret stuff on your clothing. Works like a charm. Now this is how you mix business with pleasure. Look out, St. Andrews, 'cause here I come. Once the coals are really hot, nice and red, you add the diskettes. When preparing the diskettes, make sure that they are well done. I like to smoke my bits. One of the more difficult methods. If you miss, you could break your hand. I love this. Pull! Pull! Pull!
Thank you. Dr. Destroy, for demonstrating some interesting methods of media destruction. Of course, none of these methods will securely destroy magnetic media. To do this, we've asked Dr. Destroy to demonstrate secure disk destruction.
Before magnetic media is destroyed, it must be sanitized. Although you can use an overwrite utility, I prefer the degaussing paddle. It's quicker. First, take off your badge and remove your watch. Position the degaussing paddle on the magnetic media like so. You rotate the diskette 3 to 5 times in the same direction. Do not move the paddle back and forth like this. Next, take the diskette apart. It's really quite simple. Remove the metal clip and then open the plastic casing. Remove the magnetic media. Remove the metal core. And then you cut the media into 4 pieces. Place the media in a classified, non-soluble disposal bag. Remove the labels from the plastic cover. And you put the labels in a burn bag. The plastic jacket, without label, and metal components can be thrown in unclassified trash.
As we've seen, Dr. Destroy certainly enjoys his work and knows what he's doing. We hope you enjoyed the program and will remember how to sanitize and destroy magnetic media. Thank you for joining us. And remember the InfoSec Today motto: protect your AIS.
These numbers are looking good. I could wrap this budget up if I had Sharon's input. Oh. All right, Sharon's numbers are here. Well, I'll copy the file into the master file, the way I did the other files. And then I'll attach it and save it to the shared drive. Okay, now I have to attach it to my note and send it back to everyone. Finished. A masterpiece, if I do say so myself. Yeah, just enough time to get to my meeting, and then it's off to lunch. Oh, I can't believe I let them talk me into that fried squid sandwich. Back to work again, ding-a-dee-dang. Oh, great. What's this? Well, I guess I'd better call the land team. Hello, Dave? It's Ralph. It appears that I have a rather large Scarlet V on my screen. Well, it's either an invitation to a victory party, or I have a perplexing conundrum in my computer.
Yes, Ralph, I know. The red V has shown up everywhere. It got into the payroll records, and we have to rebuild the whole payroll. Look, I gotta go now.
Well, are we gonna get paid or what?
Paid? Well, I assume so. Why?
You haven't heard? A virus really trashed the payroll this time. I thought everyone heard about it yesterday.
Well, all Dave told me was that there were red V's everywhere. Do you mean that they haven't fixed this and this means we're not going to get paid?
Let's just say I've heard the payroll system's new nickname is the Titanic. I expect a lot of checks are going to bounce come payday if they can't rebuild the payroll in time.
Hi, Ralph, Jill.
Hey, Dave.
Here's your dinosaur back. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I hope it worked out for you.
Yeah.
Hey, I hear the system's so fouled up that we aren't going to get a paycheck. How could that happen with all our high-powered security measures?
We're still trying to pinpoint where the virus came from. All we know is that someone didn't use the virus scanning software.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a pity. If they had, none of this would have happened.
Unbelievable.
The nerve of some people.
Well, I gotta run. A land administrator's job is never done.
I'll walk with you. By the way, I've had this problem with my screen. It's flickering. Do you think my monitor's dying?
Oh, no. It couldn't be. Unbelievable. I gotta run a quick disk scan. File A. Budget doc. Possibly infected by the Red V virus?
All we know is that someone didn't use the virus scanning software. What a pity. If they had, none of this would be happening.
Write it again, Ralph. Write it again. This will teach you a lesson, young man. Have you learned your lesson yet, Ralphie?
Yeah! Oh, Teddy, what an awful dream that was. I'd better get to work. I'm late. What's going on? Why is everyone staring at me and whispering?
It was you. I knew it was you.
What? What was me? What are you screaming about?
Oh, don't give me that innocent act, Ralphie. The virus on the system was your fault, and now no one will get paid.
It wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything.
Please.
You have no proof!
Who are you trying to kid? Everyone is talking about it. I wanted to see for myself, and anyway, it's written all over you. Just look at your jacket.
Oh, this is my varsity jacket. Yeah, the V is for my school.
Who are you trying to fool? The V is for virus. I know you didn't go to UVA.
Well, the V is for Vassar, yeah.
Give it a rest, Ralph. Vassar wouldn't let you anywhere near their campus.
Good afternoon. What is going on here? Are you two quarreling again?
It was him. He's your Mr. Ebola virus. He did it. Just look at him.
Jill, it's true. In fact, a rare phenomenon is that guilt from virus infection often shows up in a person's choice of clothing.
Uh-huh.
Ralph, what's that I see on your tie, huh? These, perhaps?
What's going on? What's happening to me?
It's out of our hands, Ralph. It's up to management now.
We want our money! We want our money! We want our money! We want our money!